Hey, what's up guys? Explanation Bros here. Today, I'll explain a mystery and thriller film titled Kidnapping Stella. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film, two men are shopping, but the items they purchase are quite strange. They purchase drilling equipment and materials to soundproof a room. Upon their return, they began attaching the materials to soundproof the room and added a bed. Then they proceeded to the forest and began marking the trees. Additionally, a van is being soundproofed in this scene, and inside their bag is a scrap of cloth, a rope, and a gun. Since everything is all set up, they begin waiting for someone to kidnap outside a building. Both of them are wearing masks to hide. As soon as a person passes by their van, they immediately chase it to kidnap. A girl named Stella is one of their victims. They tie her up and bring her to the room, which they soundproofed. Stella is now being handcuffed and tied onto the bed tightly. After a while, they undress her and take some pictures. They let them wear different clothes. Stella is not comfortable in her situation, but she can't do anything about it. Afterwards, they left her alone inside the room. After a few moments, one kidnapper enters the room to ask for her father's email ID and phone number. He tells Stella that they will ask for some money to ransom her. If his father grants the request, she will let her go immediately. Since Stella badly wants to be free, she quickly gives all the information they are asking for. After receiving all the information needed, they exit the room and leave her alone. Tom is one of the kidnappers who is naive about this activity, and he with Vic, who has a lot of experience in doing this practice. Vic has been in prison for several times. At this point, Tom is feeling scared. Vic can see how frightened he is. He motivates him and tells him that everything will fall into place according to their favor. Then they turn on the phone of Stella to send an email to her father telling him that they needed $2 million in exchange for their daughter. Afterwards, Tom enters the room to check Stella. When Tom has done everything he needs to check, he exits. It has been 2 days since they messaged her father. Vic realizes that Stella is starving, so they plan to give her food and water to drink. But before she enjoys the food, they tell Stella that she has to remain silent. Otherwise, they will make her unconscious. Also, they tell her that they will keep on giving her food and water so she can still survive despite her situation. Also, she enlightens her that no one can hear her because the room is designed to cover noises. After telling it all, she nods, and as soon as the cloth is off, she begins screaming. Vic nippily covers her mouth to shut her. Vic informs her that they are the only two inside the house, and aside from them, no one can hear her. Victor also tells her that she has to give a signal using her fingers if she needs to pee. The time comes for her to pee. She gives them the sign, but he let her pee on the bed instead. Stella is now tortured, and as a result, she begins to cry like a baby. In the next scene, Tom could not hide his emotions. Vic observes that he is bothered while they are eating. Vic reminds Tom that he has to eat healthy foods and has to take care of himself. He continues to console Tom by reminding him that everything will be fine. Their plan will eventually succeed and had stopped doubting himself. But Tom seems still bothered, so out of his concern, he forcefully feeds Tom. Vic tells him that he can feel why Tom is not eating, so he cheers him up. After a while, Vic leaves the room. Tom is browsing the pictures of Stella. Due to these pictures, it causes him to be sadder. He cannot take it to see Stella in her situation. After a while, Stella tells Tom that she has to poop, so Tom unlocks her, but he points his gun at Stella as she walks. When Stella is about to start pooping, she tells Tom to turn around because she is not comfortable seeing her doing this. Tom adheres, but as soon as she turns around, Stella grabs the bucket and hits Tom on his head. As a result, Tom gets hurt and his gun falls on the ground, and Stella hypersonically picks it and points it at him. Tom tries to come to her closely to steal the weapon, but Stella shoots him, but it doesn't work out. After some time, Stella removes the mask from Tom. To her surprise, she figures out who this guy is, and she begins to wonder why he has to do it on her. Tom responds that she ruined his life and that he doesn't want to let go. Tom is persuading Stella to give him the gun, but Stella says she has a piece of thoughts to express. But Tom eventually chases her to get the gun. At this point, Tom ties her again on the bed. Tom begins to blame her for everything. Also, he warns her that if Vic figures out this thing, they will kill them both. Vic is now back. He starts to express her complaints as the father of Stella is not responding. So, Vic devises a strategy to tell Tom that this will be exhausting, so he should have better prepared himself. On the following day, they both enter the room and settle the cameras. Vic discloses to Stella their plans. He says they will have a live video where they will cut her fingers, that her father will be pressured and start making ways to ransom her. He also reiterates that it will not be painful because they will inject her with some sedatives not to feel the pain. Stella starts to anticipate the pain of torture. She begins to get frightened. After that, they untie her mouth and let her express her peace. Stella begins now to beg his father while crying. She begs to rescue her. She even tells her that she is pregnant, and she knows that their relationship is not fruitful. But still, she seeks help from him. Vic is now about to cut her finger, but Tom says that the video is enough, and cutting her finger is too much. At this point, Tom saves Stella. The next day, both of them is about to feed Stella. However, she requests Tom to feed her. While eating, she and Tom notice the cover of the bullet she used yesterday. Tom tries to pick it up, but Vic observes that something smells fishy. Stella is worried now because she remembered what Tom said to her yesterday. Stella is now finished eating, but her spoon falls on the ground near the bullet's cover. Tom quickly picks it together. At this moment, Tom feels uneasy now, and Vic is still trying to figure out the reason behind it. But Tom tells him that everything is okay. Tom goes to the washroom to flush the bullet's cover, but it isn't successful. Vic notices that Tom is staying so long in the washroom, so he quickly enters it. Out of Tom's concern to hide it, he quickly swallows it before Vic sees it, despite its condition. Following Vic's departure, Tom approaches Stella and inquires as to why she lied about her pregnancy. She informs him that she is pregnant and that he is the father. He believes she is lying, and she instructs him to approach her and feel her belly. After palpitating her abdomen, Tom inquires as to why she hasn't informed him. She responds that he could never accept responsibility and that he was never present when she needed him. She also informs him that after he was arrested, she discovered that she was pregnant and reasoned that she could raise the baby on her own. Stella then inquires as to why she was chosen. He also expresses his dissatisfaction with Stella for failing to visit him at the prison and abandoning him without explaining. Additionally, he states that he believes she is still lying. She then requests to examine her phone, where he will discover the report. Tom exits the room and picks up her phone. He is about to turn it on when he recalls that the police will be able to track their location if he does easily. As a result, he decides not to turn it on. Stella then calls him and begins vomiting. He assists her. They get too close to one another and they quickly start kissing. They are about to have an intimate moment when Stella handcuffs Tom to the bed and flees the room. She attempts to escape, but the entire establishment is locked, and the keys are with Tom. She then takes out her phone and calls the police, but she cannot provide the location due to her lack of knowledge. She then realizes that Tom may have the keys. The keys fell to the ground as they struggled. He is attempting valiantly to reach the keys, and Stella approaches him to take them. When Stella bends to grab the keys, Tom uncuffs himself and kicks her in the face, knocking her unconscious. He then handcuffs her to the bed once more. Tom is remorseful for hitting her. Vic is now at their home, bringing good news as Stella's father agrees to the ransom. Her father tells them that he will give them the money tomorrow. Vic and Tom begin to imagine the things they could possess using the money they will gain. On the following day, Vic leaves Tom inside the car. He is now about to get Stella, and he notices her cell phone is on. He wonders how she manages to reach and turn on the cell phone, so he checks the call history and finds out a history call with the police. Vic bursts into anger, so he slaps her to tell her the truth. Then finally Stella tells everything that happened when he was away. In this scene, Tom figures out that Stella is telling the truth. The baby inside Stella's womb is his. Tom is now having a hard time thinking about what he must do. Afterwards, Vic ties Stella again and goes to Tom. He tells him that he knew why he was bothered these past few days and asks why he chose Stella. Tom tells him that Stella is rich and that it is their decision. At this point, Vic is starting to have trust issues with him and tells him that he must not hide any secrets anymore. At this moment, they tie Stella and make her unconscious to bring her quickly to their location. Their scheme is to leave Stella inside a cottage and put the keys near her in order for her to escape easily. However, when they arrive at the place, they didn't see any money, so they concluded they were being framed. Vic has second thoughts to kill Stella and Tom. Vic now starts to execute his plans, but Tom manages to escape but gets shot from a distance. After this, Vic goes to the location and gets the money. He is blissful seeing tons of money, but he is unsatisfied. He still wants to kill Stella and Tom. That night, he goes to Stella to inject something that will make her die. He tells her that it is painless. When Vic is about to inject Stella, Tom enters the room and hits him with a rod. Despite the situation of Tom, he is still determined to save Stella. But Vic manages to stand up and gets the gun to dominate the situation. Vic starts to express his resentment against him that Tom ruins their plans. Out of his anger, he is now shooting him, but Stella kicks Vic, making her fall to the ground. The gun is now close to Tom, so he picks it up and shoots him. Vic is now dead. Tom gets the key and gives it to her. Stella is now freed, but Tom is badly ill and eventually dies. The movie ends when Stella exits the cottage and gets to their car, and to her surprise, she sees the money from her father. Stella realizes that her relationship with her father is not good, and she figures out that he is not willing to ransom her in the first place. so she decides to isolate herself from him and uses the money she gets and starts her life together with her baby. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.